And a good Wednesday evening from the Varsity Aces. I'm Greg Tartaglia on a Wednesday night, or a regular weekly Varsity Aces live show for Wednesday, October 28th, 2020. Our guests tonight are from the Eastside High School football program in Paterson. We will have with us Coach James Magazine, his second year as head coach of the Ghosts, and senior Albert Canty, who was named one of our Tough 22 players to watch by Darren Cooper, one of my fellow Varsity Aces, flying solo tonight on this end. But on your end, Coach, good to have you on the show. You and Albert, welcome. And first of all, congratulations on getting off to a nice start this year with Eastside.
Thank you for having me. We appreciate that.
Yes, doing a little bit of research. In fact, I think whoever runs the Eastside Ghosts Twitter had asked, hey, when was the last time the Ghosts started 3-0? And sort of a research buff, 1993 was the last time. There have been actually a few times over the years. The best that I could find that the Ghosts have ever started, I think, was 7-0. And that was in 1960. So since 1960, this is tied for your best start. What's been going right for the team? Coach, we'll start with you. And where do you see the season going from here?
I mean, it's been starting right. Our young men are really starting to buy in. They attend practice. We demand grades. So we're doing all of the groundwork to, have the blueprint to build a good program. I mean, like we said, wins and losses are happening throughout the week, not on game day. So the young men are really buying into our program.
And Albert, what's the feeling like with the players? I've covered football in this area for a while. I don't get to see Eastside every year, but I know there's been a lot of seasons where, things weren't going great results-wise. What's the feeling like? What's the mood like around the program right now with you, and especially with a lot of the younger players, because you're one of the few seniors?
It's a great move right now because a couple of years ago we went 1-9. That was terrible. I guess that was one of the worst years in Eastside history. So I've been playing with a couple of the players since Little League. So we already connecting.
And Albert, yours is one of the more unique stories on the team. I believe you didn't play your freshman year, and there have been a lot of other off-the-field things going on. You can share what you like, but just tell us a little bit about how you got to senior year, and how you not only helped get the team to this point, but how you ended up here being one of the team leaders, certainly in scoring touchdowns, but also leaders on the field as well.
Well, it started off when I was in Little League. I was in an alternative school because of my anger issues, and then they put me in an alternative school, and I got that.
He was classified behaviorally due to his anger issues that he demonstrated in the class.
And as far as everything else goes, I believe you had to go through a death in the family, all kinds of things that have happened. I guess, what's it like being playing this season now, knowing that, number one, it seems like you're playing for a lot more than just football, and number two, that feeling that, hey, I finally got a chance to show what I can do. What's it been like?
It's a good feeling knowing that other coaches, like a lot of schools, could watch me play, and I could take my family out the hood, take my family out of Paterson right now, and show the world that it's more than just fighting and all that other stuff in Paterson, or like gang violence and stuff.
Well, that was one of the things that really struck me because I've actually had the privilege to talk to Coach Magazine during the summer over the past 3 years and written the State of the Program story, available on NorthJersey.com, for the Eastside Ghosts the past couple of years. And Coach, one of the things, especially when I talked to you this year, you were most proud of was, hey, we got a better record on the football field. We graduated everybody last year. Talk about what it's taken to get more people not only involved in the program, but being successful both on and off the field.
I mean, bro, instituting it. We had mandated study hall in season, out of season, and it is carried over. When our young men needed help, we did a great job of coaches as going into the system, doing bi-weekly grade sheets and just staying on top of all of our young men. So this is the first year, and I've been in the program for 9 seasons, that none of our young men had summer school. So we're able to get a lot more work in when they're doing what they need to do inside of the classroom.
So how far has the program come in terms of, on and off the field, in your eyes? What have you seen? What have you been, I guess, most impressed with, or maybe even most pleased with the progress the program's made over the past few years?
The kids owning up to their things, the accountability amongst the team itself. So you get to a point when you can just really coach and not have to deal with the behavioral issues or programmatic issues within. It just makes our life that much easier, and we can learn on the field.
Albert, is there anything for you that's maybe stood out more that you're noticing, hey, you know, the program's getting better in this area or that area?
Yes, the coaches, like, they help us a lot. They help us a lot. They get us out the streets. Well, they get a lot of kids out the streets to get them on the football field, get them into school. And they've been helping us a lot since my freshman year, even though I didn't play that year.
And one of the other things that has been going on with Eastside this season, you know, you talk about you're making changes on the field, you're making changes in the classroom. And I know that each game, at least each game that I've seen you in, and we have you on the documentary, which we'll get to in a little bit, the whole entire team takes a knee before the game. Now, that's something that, you know, is kind of, my understanding is that you're doing it to try and maybe affect some change in your community. What change has that affected? And, you know, how is that going? You know, you see it at the beginning of I see it at the beginning of the NFL season, and the cameras are on and people sort of do it. I don't know why they do it, but, you know, it seems like when the season goes on, nobody's really talking about it anymore. You're still taking a knee every week. So, you know, what sort of a change is that affecting in your community?
I mean, before we opened up 2 nights prior to it, we heard the rumblings in the locker room amongst the players in regards to taking a knee. So I'm just a person of organization. I wanted to be fair and transparent. So I reached out to some of the higher ups in the district, and we wanted to make everything around here learning experience. So we had some community counselors come in, some of our history teachers come in. We had a couple of police officers come in and just speak about the topic of social injustice, so we fully understand what we're doing and not use it as a copycat just because we see, you know, the all-stars and, you know, NFL players doing it. The players agreed to doing it in a vote. Actually, the vote became a unanimous vote, and, you know, that's what we decided to do. So it's not just about doing it, and it's about we educate our young men every week on different topics. And actually tonight at our team dinner, we will address what happened last night in Philadelphia, just to, you know, so the young men are able to talk. I know sometimes we get a red flag and say it's a copycat, or the young men don't know what they're doing. We had some people attack us on social media. I mean, I don't get into that. I'm worried about what happens in this locker room. I mean, we had young men come in and cops talk about what to do when you're pulled over in a car, you know, how to conduct yourself and how to act. So everything's a learning curve around here. We just don't do things just for the fashion end of it.
Oh, I guess my follow-up to that would be, how's the community responded, you know, with support and things like that?
I mean, I'll let you want to talk about that. I'll go on.
How the community responded?
I should ask you, has it been mostly positive? You know, what have people been saying?
So right now with our fan situation, we only get 350 people in.
Right.
A third of that goes to the away team. So the turnouts have been okay. I mean, toward the tail of them last season, we had really good turnouts. I mean, probably up to about 5,000 fans, which was tremendous around here, where years ago we would get 50 people here. In terms like we go to church as a team, we do different events as a team, and just the comments and, you know, reaction we get from the community are they like what we're doing around here. And it's just not about taking the knee, just what we're doing as a program and keeping our young men active.
And everything you've been not only telling me seems like it's been positive, but the results are borne out on the field. And even the one game that, you know, you came on the short end of the score this year, I saw against Clifton, really just starting to put all these things into practice, both on and off the field. So let's get back to talking a little bit more about on the field. But, you know, I mentioned that little documentary series that we were doing a little earlier. It's called Playing for a Way Out. If you search Playing for a Way Out on NorthJersey.com, the videos are up there. There have been 3 episodes so far. And some of the juniors are getting involved, the twins, Austin and Justin Jacobs. And obviously the coaches get interviewed too. But, you know, I want to ask Albert, what has the team reaction been to, you know, hey, cameras at practice and at every game, or at least every other game so far? You know, how much have you enjoyed being a part of that?
I enjoyed it a lot. I get to see my brothers succeed. Like, I get to see they get college recruiters come in a lot. I can see, like, it's just, I enjoy it because I see everybody winning on my team. So.
And our photographers working on that series, Mike Karras and Danielle Parhiskaran, actually got a hold of Danielle. She said, "Oh, I'd love to be on, and Coach Mags is fun to talk to." Unfortunately, neither of our photographers could make it tonight. They do both say hello. Coach, you're the one who's kind of running the show, and obviously, I know our people are very good at what they do, but what's your reaction been like being able to sort of have this maybe little media outlet to show people what's going on with your team?
I mean, it's great for people to honestly get an inside feel of what we have going on here. From the outside looking in, you would think Eastside football, bunch of athletes, you're going to get mediocrity, but I want people to understand our story. This is not just a job that you're going to get and come in and do X's and O's and, win every Saturday. This is a job that's a 24/7 job. It's nonstop and it's year round. You have to love your young men to be successful in this community.
I have to apologize because I'm a journalist and I need to cite my sources. I wrote down a quote from one of the episodes, so I apologize because I did not get the name of who said it. But it just in general, someone was talking about, if you go to Eastside, you don't really go anywhere. And it seems like not only is your program all about kind of changing that mentality, it is. So let me pivot back to Albert maybe a little bit. What are you looking to do not only beyond this football season, but beyond high school going forward?
I'm looking to help the community get better, looking to help my family get out of the situation they're in now. I'm looking to help all my brothers succeed, graduate school, get where they want to be. And even if they don't get where they want to be, they can still be stable and help their family out.
I mean, and for you personally, will there be education opportunities going forward? What are you looking forward to do maybe as a career or with your life going forward? And you know what? If you're undecided, I've gotten that reaction before because I was someone that was undecided. I went to college after high school, but didn't really figure out what I wanted to do for a couple of years. So you know what? If you don't have the answer right now, that's quite all right. But you know what? It is a football show. We do want to get back to talking about the results. Your 3 wins, Passaic, Bayonne, and you just recently beat Newark Eastside, or Paterson Eastside. For those who don't know, the big difference is Newark Eastside, East and Side are 2 words, Paterson Eastside, all 1 word. Now that we got that out of the way, you've outscored your opponent so far 104-36. And again, Clifton's the one loss, but it was a very close game. Clifton won 17-6. It was close until the end. And you got a big one coming up tomorrow night, against Passaic Tech. How big of a test will that be? First, Coach Magazine, how big of a test will that be for your team to kind of, measure how far you've come?
I mean, Coach Demers does a great job up there at Passaic County Tech. I mean, we haven't had a big win since I've been here at the head job. Our biggest win was Passaic Valley in helping us qualify last year for the state playoffs. But to be an elite program or to be a program that is to be reckoned with, you have to beat the big boys. Simple as that.
And you've had a few of these Thursday night games. North Jersey, like I said, kind of a research buff. Years going back, looking at old newspapers. Sunday's always the big day. Friday Night Lights sort of started in the 70s, really didn't pick up till maybe the 90s and into this century as well. But, Thursday night football is kind of interesting. How does it end up being that Eastside plays so many Thursday night games?
I mean, for 2 big reasons here. I want to give my opponent a short week to work with us. And secondly, I want to make sure that nothing's really going on in town. We get a decent amount of fans at our games.
And how have you, obviously your opponent gets less time to prepare, but I guess if you play every Thursday, you get the same amount of time to prepare. What's it like for you, Albert, playing under Thursday night lights? Everybody likes playing under the lights, but Thursday night, do you find more people come out? What's the experience been like for you?
Wow, this is my first year playing Thursday night. So it's like another Friday night game, but with less fans. It's all right.
Yeah, and you know what? Never a bad thing to get a second Friday every week. So, and you know what? If you do well on Thursday night, you don't have to wait all the way until Monday for people to say, hey, great game when you go into school. You can go in and see them the very next morning. So there is a bonus to that. I guess the last thing to wrap up would be, you got going forward, Passaic Tech is tomorrow. A few more games down the road. There are no state playoffs this year, but guess what? The last game of the year as it has been for very many years. In fact, back to 1925, that I've researched. Kennedy against Eastside. That is your traditional Thanksgiving game. You know, there's new stuff happening in schools every week, especially with the pandemic. So everybody sort of hopes that they can finish out the season. We don't know exactly what it's going to be like when we get there, but still, the fact that you've got that game, no playoffs, but yes, still playing Kennedy on Thanksgiving. How big is that going to be, Coach, in your mind? A way to finish the season, especially a season like this.
I mean, it's big because the Battle of the Town, it gives you a year to kind of be up on your opponent, and it definitely helps you somewhat recruiting-wise as well.
And Albert, you mentioned that you hadn't played a couple of you didn't play freshman year, I should say. Have you gotten the opportunity to play on varsity on Thanksgiving, and what are you most looking forward to? I know you got to look forward to Passaic Tech tomorrow night, but just imagine the last game of the season is going to be there. What are you looking forward to for this particular Thanksgiving, both on and off the field?
Question go through first. For the Thanksgiving game, I'm looking to have a good game. Have a great game against them, and get ready for the rest of the school year. And finish out strong.
All right, Ed, I apologize because it looked like the screen might have froze for a second, but we are grateful to have Coach James Magazine and senior running back / linebacker Albert Canty of the Eastside Ghosts football program to join us tonight. Fortunately, any technical difficulties we had were pre-show, and we've been able to go the whole show here with you guys. So again, first of all, I want to thank you for joining us. Second of all, good luck, and people will be able to continue following you. The documentary series that we have on NorthJersey.com is Playing for a Way Out. Coach, any final thoughts as you head off and head into what you hope will be your next best start since 1960?
We just take everything week by week, and we definitely thank you and appreciate the opportunity for you guys to come take a look at us.
And Albert, what are you looking forward to most as the year finishes out? Not just playing games, but what do your teammates say to you each week when you have a big game? I think you scored a few touchdowns against Bayonne. When a big game like that happens, what does it do for you and for your teammates?
Just put momentum for us for the next week. I have momentum, so we gotta have a good game next week. We take one down we take a down by down, play by play, and we move on.
And you know what? It's an old cliche. It's also the mark of a good football program. The 3-1 Eastside Ghosts will get back to taking the field tomorrow night against Passaic Tech. Coach James Magazine and Albert Canty, thank you both so much for joining us here on Varsity Aces Live, and we'll see you around the field. Thank you for joining us for this Varsity Aces Live October 28th edition. We will be back again next week, next Wednesday night, same time at 7 o'clock. Possibly with a new host, but that's how we like to do it. We like to get everybody on Varsity Aces involved, and we like you to be involved as well. So thank you for joining us. Please be sure to join us again next week and follow us on social media. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and if you like the show, by all means, feel free to comment and let us know. Or if you have an idea for maybe a suggestion for a guest that you'd like to see, we're open to anything. So thank you very much for joining us for Varsity Aces Live. I'm Greg Tartaglia.